beforehand, before the fight, you said your loss to Pettis kind of lit a fire within you. Can you talk a little bit about your mindset going into this one?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never been knocked out before. My last fight is one of that and my second fight with Matt Brown is the only fight I felt like I've actually ever lost. The ones against Woodley and Till, I felt like I won those fights. I mean, when you get knocked out, you go back home wondering, well, why didn't I see this? What's going on? Am I slowing down? Am I getting too over this game? So all this stuff's kind of going through your head, but at the end of the day, you got to tell yourself no. I'll be 37 in February, but I consider myself, a young 37-year-old.
Was there a chance that we could have seen the last of you tonight if things didn't go right? Did you ever think of that or no?
No, not at all. Not at all. But like I said, I'm 37. You got guys fighting till the 41. DC, I thought he looked, his last fight, the one he lost, better than his other last 3 fights. He looked amazing. He just got caught. I've been there before. So I keep my body healthy. I train on a daily basis. We don't beat each other up in the gym, so we train smart.
Who do you have in that matchup, Usman or Covington?
That's a good fight. Both very similar fighters, both high-level wrestlers. And I think it's going to come down to who's got the best striking. I think they're both good enough to keep the fight standing, so they're both going to be forced to strike it out. I'm definitely leaning towards my man Usman for sure.
I mean, Vicente was one of your hardest challenges, and this is not a guy that's even ranked too highly yet. Would you say it's the most skilled at the moment that you've seen it?
In a while, yes. Everybody I fight in the UFC is high-level skill. But when it came to, down to adapting to somebody, I think Rory McDonald was that guy that I really had to adapt to and figure out. Because those guys like that, they make changes after every time they fight. Guys like Johnny Hendricks, no offense, but you've seen him fight once, you've seen him fight 100 times. But Rory McDonald and Vicente Luque, they make changes. So those are the guys you kind of have to worry about when you're out there. So I had to be very cautious.
Instantly, Masvidal said, let's do it again, let's run it back, let's do a rematch. I mean, as big as this event was, I can't see it being any smaller necessarily the second time around. Does that interest you right away?
No, it doesn't interest me right away. I got asked a couple questions tonight. Diaz comes on in the later rounds. If this fight had gone later, they didn't stop it, what would have happened, whatever. But it didn't. Got stopped with cuts, and Masvidal looked very dominant. Nothing but great fights all year, and if anybody's the fighter of 2019, it's definitely that kid. He's got some big options coming his way.
I know you're a boxing fan, and I don't know how much you were able to follow on with what happened tonight, but they end up showing your fight there at the fight in Vegas. I'm curious.
So MGM, we're sitting there, and MGM called and said, you guys are halfway through your co-main event right now. We can't, people are losing their minds here or whatever. Can we show the Diaz fight at the MGM? And I was just like, holy shit, this is crazy. If I woke up and dreamed all this, I wouldn't believe that it really, Of course, we said yes, and they did, and wow.
I was going to say, I know you don't like to play the MMA versus boxing game, but does that say something about the state of the sports, the health of that they're showing your main event at their card?
They're not showing my main event at their cards because somebody won and somebody lost. It's a much bigger picture than that. You guys know how I am or whatever. I fucking hate Oscar De La Hoya. I hate this guy. I told him not to go on this night. He did what he wanted to do, and here we are. We got it worked out yesterday to where fans could see both fights. I don't know, it's just a real crazy thing for me. You look at me, right? If you look at me, my situation, where I've been, where I've come from, we weren't allowed in this state a few years ago. The President of the United States was here tonight. And I don't care where you sit politically, the President of the United States was here tonight at our event. We weren't allowed here a few years ago. Fucking wow.
When did you know that the president was coming? Also, were you nervous? I know you're not a nervous guy typically, but were you nervous at all about the crowd reaction to the president?
When he was elected, he called me the night that he was elected and told me to get down to, the party, the after party, and I went, and he wanted to come to the Conor McGregor fight. And then he called me the next morning and said, you know what, I'm going to ruin your event if I go. I think it'll ruin it. And let's plan this again. We had dinner last Thursday at the White House, and he said, I'm coming to New York. I was like, oh my God, that's going to be a rough one. Why don't we do Vegas on the 14th? And New York was the only one that he could do, so he came tonight.
It's a huge stadium. It's not a controlled environment. Were you nervous at all about what the crowd would be like when he walked up there?
Nah, I'm one of these guys, like I was just saying, whoever you are, in here in the media, this is America. You can believe and do whatever you want. If you want to boo, you can boo. If you don't,
Now that you're here, can you be honest? I mean, not knowing, well, especially not knowing they had a knee injury, but not knowing if you have a visa, if you're going to be able to get over here, the late flight. I mean, how tough was the final week in these last couple days?
I've been invincible all my life. Before Woodley, there was no one guy who could beat me, and then 2 losses like that, it just took a lot away from me, inside of me. You know, I didn't say it. I tell you, I was trying to fake an injury before walking out because I just simply did not want to get in there. And this is probably things that fighters don't talk about, but you know me, I'm honest. Now I'm here, confidence is back. Like, fuck all these middleweights, you know, I'm coming for everything.
You had some pretty honest quotes afterwards that you said you were fearful getting in there and a little bit afraid. So has that been rectified at this point, or do you think that's something you're going to have to deal with every time?
Every fight, no matter what any fighter will ever tell you, they will be scared. If they tell you they're not, it's a blatant lie.
A lot of people sort of talking about Yoel Romero possibly getting this
No,
title.
fuck that guy.
Well,
I don't want to ever fight him. He's a beast. Anything's possible. After I was coming off 2 and they put me in with Calvin, anything's possible. If it's Joel, if they wait for Costa, if it's someone else more deserving than myself, so be it.
Your friend, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, the lineal heavyweight champion, has recently stated he wants to get into MMA.
Yeah.
He's been calling out Stipe, Francis Ngannou. Let's be real, you're a realistic guy. Does he have a chance to winning in MMA if he competes?
You know, Tyson's my boy. He's proper my boy. We're under the same the same management. One of my sparring partners, a heavyweight Tom, even said to me, he said, Tyson is untouchable. He's just so good. But then you have to bring all these other factors in, takedowns and kicks and stuff. And I just believe in a little bit of training, yeah. So if he wants to train with me or Connor, whatever be, he'd do well. He fights Stipe, Francis. You know, my money's on Tyson, but you know, he definitely needs to know. And I'll tell him myself that he's got to learn some certain things. MMA is different from boxing.
I mean, do you feel medically that it was a wise decision to maybe prevent you from taking more damage there?
I heard that my eye was the same coming out of the 2nd round that was coming out the 3rd round. And the doctor played me. He's like, oh man, I don't know. I'm like, no, I'm good. Well, he asked me, you good? You can see? I'm like, yeah, cool. And then he goes back to the other guy and he's like, fights up. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't like to make it seem, you've heard it before probably, but I had a knee injury about 3 weeks ago, and it kept me from running. Tell all my boys all the time, if you're gonna be fighting people, you have to run. You have to run hard. I don't feel like I had the confidence that I usually had in my cardio. Like I knew I could make it 5 rounds for sure, no matter what. But I couldn't keep the pressure. I didn't have the confidence to keep the pressure I usually keep because I want to make sure I paced that out good. Somebody in the fight earlier got wrecked. I think it was the Mohawk homie. What's his name? Yeah, Johnny Walker I saw him, he got hit, and then he knocked down, he jumped back up all fast trying to kill the guy back, and I'm like, that's not how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You need to just slow it down, recover, get time, and otherwise you're gonna lose. And I ain't planning on losing no fight, ever. Fuck The Rock too, man. That motherfucker over here playing me. See him over here smiling with Masvidal. Should have Mike Tyson handing out a belt if anybody. I didn't give a fuck about no belt anyway, but.
My final question, do you know how many stitches you had tonight?
I don't know, same as always, 6 or 7 or 8, I don't know. Fuck, nigga, I got unlimited record for stitches, but you sneeze on me, I bleed. So, it's not a thing.
If the fight wasn't gonna get stopped, what was gonna be your game plan for the 4th and 5th round?
Around the 3rd round, I've started to feel him start grabbing onto me. On the fence, you could see he was like holding me on the fence one time, and I'm like, this fool's gonna go for a takedown or something, or start drilling me with these knees. And he wasn't doing anything. I was like, oh, okay, you're just preserving. So I started smacking him in his face this way, like that, and his head turned to the side. I started smacking him in his face this way. Not even technical fighting. Schoolyard. Like, oh, you're gonna just hold me? I'm just gonna smack you in your face as many times. So, and on the bottom, and I was hitting him. I was like, where you at, motherfucker? And then he spit it back. Oh, I'm right here. I'm right, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I hear you starting to fade away. I think it's gonna start getting better for me. And then I go back to my corner, and then the guy's like, oh, I'm like, no, we good. We good. And he's like, okay, we're good. And we goes over and he stops the fight. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Also, you mentioned before that The Rock can get it as well. What exactly did you mean by that? What was it that The Rock did?
Nigga, he's on that side. Fuck him. I'm on the West Coast side. Mike Tyson should have been here anyway. He's the baddest man on the planet, right? He should have been the one. He should have been the one over here. I'm over here on the rock, huh? You guys caught me under a bad time, but you know what I'm saying? The Rock's cool. I like ballers. You know what I'm saying? But he picked the wrong side. He picked another side, so he could get it too. He could get his ass whipped too, straight up.
What other fights would interest you? Because it's not certain that you and Masvidal can get it going when, you know.
Right now, only that rematch is the only thing I'm interested in.
Okay, thank you.
What is the emotion like right now?
I heard a lot of comments. I read a lot of media stuff, people talking about when the later the fight goes, or if the fight hits the ground, or in certain situations, I'd be outworked or outclassed. Not happening. I want somebody to pull up a fight that I faded in the 4th or 5th round. That's not gonna happen. What happened in the 3rd was just gonna keep happening in the 4th and in the 5th.
Would you prefer it be next, or would you be open to other fights first?
I'm open to the money, and he's a money fight. If Canelo wants to get his ass kicked, that's a fight I'll take, you know. I'm just here to get the biggest checks possible, but Nate is in the future for a fact. You know, we're doing it next year, the year after that, but it's gonna happen.
I think in a lot of people's minds, if Colby Covington beats Kamaru Usman next month, it's the fight people want to see. How close of an eye are you going to be keeping on that fight?
If I have trouble sleeping, I hang out, smoke weed, and fucking pass out and eat a lot of food and stuff. I don't need to see that fight, so I won't be watching that shit. I mean, who the fuck have they knocked out? I got more stoppages this year than them their whole fucking career combined. That's just math, though. You could look it up.
I know you said that you want to take some time off, heal and such, but you also said that you want the big money fights and such. Conor McGregor said that he is going to come back January 18th, and Dana White said...
Come back to what?
To MMA, to the UFC.
What do you mean, like fighting in the cage?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That dude's been talking wild for a second. If he fights and gets a victory, and he wants this, and some of you motherfuckers are mean, man, because you know what the fuck I'll do to that little dude, bro. I'll fuck that little guy up, man. He's a fucking midget. Dana White, president of this motherfucking company, said I'm too much man for him. I get it why people want to see him hurt for the stunts he's been pulling, but he don't want this shit. He's just talking so he can get his name out there. He was cheering for Nate. He wanted to run it back with Nate. You think he's at home seeing that fight saying, I want to fight that dude? That dude ain't retarded. You see, he punches old people in the face because those are fights that he could win.
Hey, you said you were planning to rest up a little bit, but if something is to happen with either Usman or Covington, would you be willing to step in and save the day at UFC 245?
I'd be the hero they need, but they don't deserve, man. My hands are fucked up, man. You know, I usually don't say too much about my injuries, but my hand is a little jacked up, man. I need some rehab on it. So if I was to get in, especially those crotch sniffers, I know I could hit them with a fucking knee or something. So I could do it. One of those sissies gets hurt, they gotta pay me, man. They gotta fucking pay me, man.